Money isn't real. It's created at the click of a button, and I am about to show you exactly what I mean. Now, this is taken directly from my ebook titled Money Isn't Real. Now, I wrote this back in 2022 when I figured this out. Money isn't actually backed by anything tangible. It's just paper that we all agree has value. Every time that more money gets printed, the value of all the existing money drops. That's how our system works. To pay off debt, we issue even more of it. The people who get ahead understand this and they use borrowed money to buy assets that grow even faster than the money that loses value. Most people do the opposite of this. They buy liabilities. They borrow money to buy things that go down in value, like cars, boats, vacation, toys, while inflation is sitting there silently eating away at their savings. Think of it like this. If there's $100 in circulation and we create another $10, that's $10 that did not exist before. It's brand new money. But now the total supply of money has increased by 10%. So every previous dollar is worth just a little bit less. That is why saving cash loses purchasing power. While owning appreciating assets and borrowing against them, that is what the wealthy do. Here is where it gets crazy. Before you took out that loan, that money did not exist. As soon as you did, poof, you just created money out of nothing. This is the secret of the rich. I'm going to provide you a real life example. You can currently, at the time of this video in 2025, borrow money at 6%. You can then invest that money in something as simple as the S&P 500 and earn a 12% return. You get to keep the entire spread. That can compound forever. As soon as I figured this out, that was like a light bulb going off in my head. I wondered, if that's the case, why wouldn't I just do this with as much money as I possibly can? After I figured this out, I realized that I had been lied to my entire life about money. Quick disclaimer would be none of this is financial advice, legal advice. I'm not responsible for any of the decisions that you make after this video. Dave Ramsey has a great investing calculator. That's the only thing that I actually like about Dave Ramsey. Let me show you exactly what I mean with this 6% and 12% spread. So I'm currently 33 years old. Let's run a couple scenarios. Let's say that we go until 40 years old. This is just 7 years. And let me take a look at how much debt I currently have. I'm currently borrowing $140,000 at 5.15% interest. So 140,000. Now let's contribute nothing just to show the power of money that I haven't even earned yet, making more money. And let's do our 12% return with a 5% cost. So we would get to keep 7%. Over 7 years, we almost doubled our money. Let's go until we're 50. We are now up 300 some $1,000 with money we haven't even earned. Let's go until 60. We're at almost $1 million with money that we have never even earned. This is the power of understanding that you need to borrow to buy assets, not to buy liabilities. Now, realistically, I do earn at least 2% more than this. So really, just this would get me to 1.5 million. That is pretty powerful. So, as soon as I realized this, I realized that I'd been lied to my entire life and I just didn't understand anything about money. So this was a huge moment for me. If you're getting value from this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Let's take a look at how I did this. So back in 2022, when I started out, I had started with nothing. I started with, that's not true. I started with $20,000 cash, and then I borrowed from my paid off car. That got me to 45,000. And then I borrowed margin money that I haven't even earned. Basically what margin is it's a line of credit using your stock portfolio as collateral. So I borrowed about 40,000 in margin, got me to about 80,000, and then I just kept contributing as I got more and more money coming in. And I did this sort of towards the top of the bear market of 2022. To give you an idea, I started in like late January here borrowing, and then by the time we got to March, I had already unloaded all of my debt right here. And we had all the way down to here to go. So that was pretty painful and it was a big learning moment for me. In 2025, when I repeated this, I did it much better. And I did it with a much larger amount. I did it with $100,000 in a very short period of time. I spaced it out more than the first time though. I did much better. So let's take a look at what this realistically looks like in terms of growth. When we started out, we started, like I said, with the 45,000, and then we borrowed margin to go ahead and bump us up about 40,000 in margin, right, almost right away. So that was a mistake. I wouldn't recommend doing it as fast as you can. I would recommend being a little cautious and taking your time with it. There's no rush. Like bear markets last longer than a few days. You learn that with time, and I think everybody messes up their first time. That being said, the power of growth, I'm up around 9 times the portfolio value in just 4 years. And then over here, total portfolio value, over here was my net worth, total portfolio value, I'm also up around 9x. And I do have a lot more debt than I started with. I started with about 40,000, so I tripled my amount of debt, but I essentially 9x'd my portfolio value. The bill is going down every single month because currently I am using my income to pay down my debt to prepare one for the next opportunity, reduce my bill a little bit. And what I do with dividends, people ask me this all the time. My dividends are often used to, they pay about a third of my debt and they're used to go ahead and help soften that blow. Now, in addition, I do track with this nice net worth sheet here. By the way, this is included in my bundle, Money Isn't Real. I don't know that it comes with this graph, but I think it does. But anyway, this whole spreadsheet comes with it to where you can go ahead and track, as well as you do have this to help you track as well. So I track my net worth growth over time, and this does include contributions. If you want to see total actual returns, that is over here on in actual M1 Finance, and you do see year to date I'm up 33%. I'm up $140,000 just since the beginning of the year. For the 1 year growth, I'm up 150K. That's quite a bit for just having started this about 4 years ago. And since 2022, I'm up 230 grand with, I wouldn't say all of it is money that I haven't earned. That's not, I was kind of over speaking a little bit there, but the power of using debt cannot be overstated. Let me show you real quick. I think I showed this in another video. My money filtration system, just a real quick touch on this. This ebook is 30 pages, and the money filtration system, what you do is you buy assets with your money, with your income. You then spend money on credit cards. You then borrow money from your assets to pay off those credit cards. And you do this all without ever selling any of your assets. And you get to keep the spread, meaning the difference between your gains and the cost of your margin. Very, very powerful stuff. So again, if you got value from this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.